Of course, we're here today to celebrate is certainly not the word, but to observe, to mark an anniversary which we would have never wanted to observe, the 5th anniversary of the start of the war in Syria. I remember, I was in Syria actually when the war started. This is purely coincidental. I was then the head of UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, and we had programs in Syria, and I happened to be visiting Syria during the first half of March 2011. I remember that I was in Aleppo and in a restaurant and looking at the images of the demonstrations in Dera, which the government was quite happy to display. The government was quite confident at that point that it would not have to face the same pressure from the street that other regimes, other governments in the region had already gone through, namely Egypt, if you remember. So there was a certain self-confidence that for one reason or the other, Syria wouldn't have to go through any dramatic transition. And this was, of course, disproven by facts very, very quickly. It was very difficult to imagine in those days, I can assure you, that 5 years later we would be here commenting on 5 years of such devastating war. And I think that if there is anything that we should attach to this anniversary is a reflection on the incredible, on the abysmal political failure that Syria represents for the international community. It is a political failure of the parties to the conflict, the government and the opposition. It is to come to an agreement. It is a political failure of the countries in the region that have in various ways supported one or the other of the parties. It is a political failure of the global powers that have tried in various ways to influence the process. I'm not pointing fingers at one or the other. This is a collective failure that we should reflect upon today.